What's up, Interweb? RhyQuinn here, and welcome to my Week 1 game for the CBL. Today we are facing Charmawot and the Newcastle Ninjasks. Now, if you haven't seen my team builder video, I'll leave a link down in the description below, and you can have an in-depth look as to why I'm bringing the team I'm bringing. You know, all the sets in detail and all that stuff. I'll do a quick rundown of the team now, but if you want a more in-depth analysis of why I'm bringing the team I'm bringing, then make sure to go watch that video. Also, down in the description are going to be links to my opponent, Charmawot of the Newcastle Ninjasks. Make sure to go check those links out as well. So real quick, the two potential teams that we could both be bringing are going to be on the screen right now. You can see on either side. They might be kind of small, but you can see if you look close enough. You can see what teams we could potentially be bringing. The team that I'm bringing is a physically defensive Yachi Berry Salamence. I am bringing a Assault Vest Raichu, a Choice Scarf Jirachi, a Hurricane User and Defog and Quick Attack Mega Pidgeot, a Scarfed Hitmonlee, and a Rocky Helmet Tangrowth, mainly physically defensive. So that's the team I've decided to bring. If you want to know why I'm bringing that team, then make sure to go down in the description and check out the team analysis video. And I have actually decided to change Raw on Salamence for Toxic. I figured Toxic would help me in the long run in this game more so than Raw. So the team that my opponent has decided to bring to this match is Arcanine, Mega Beedrill, Slowbro, Garchomp, Umbreon, and Raikou. So I was pretty worried about a couple things. There's a lot of bulk there. Arcanine I'm expecting to be defensive, to be one of the best switch-ins to Darmanitan on his squad. Umbreon, extremely bulky. The only thing I really have to do over half of that thing is close combat from Hitmonlee. And Slowbro is going to be a bit of a pain to take down as well, because like a Thunderbolt from Raichu is like possibly a 2-hit KO. Volt Switch is a roll, I think, for a 2-hit KO, so Slowbro is going to be kind of bulky as well, and I'm going to have to do some predictions around because he does have an electric immunity in the Garchomp. I'm expecting the Raikou to be his dedicated Mega Pidgeot switch-in, and potentially Umbreon as well, depending. So a lot of bulk to try and play around, but I'm going to have to do my best. I do have my switch into Mega Beedrill in the Salamence, so I was okay with that. But going into it, I wanted to lead with my Jirachi. I'm Scarfed, and I can kind of scout out what potential things my opponent wants to do if I do lead Jirachi. So that was my dedicated lead. So let's get right into this game, and let's see how things go. So, as I said, I'm going to lead with my Jirachi, and my opponent's going to lead with his Garchomp. Now, I did not want to run the risk of this Garchomp being Scarfed, because I need this Scarfed Jirachi. And he does just go straight for the Earthquake. I'm thinking, okay, he might be Scarfed here. I'll have to play that one by ear. So I go down to my Tangrowth, and he switches out into his Arcanine as I go for a knockoff. And I'm going to knock off this Arcanine's Rocky Helmet and only do 10%, so this is physically defensive as expected. Now I'm expecting a Will-O-Wisp, and I don't really have a good switch into this, so I'm just going to go into my Salamence because it's not offensive. Its main job is to spread Toxics around and to take hits from Mega Beedrill. Its job is not really, although the burn's going to be annoying, it's going to be wearing it down. It's probably the best thing on my team that really wants to take a burn, so and just in case he wanted to go for Fire Stab, you know, Salamence was the best thing to take down. Now I'm going to drop a Toxic as he switches in as Slowbro. I am fine with that. I'm going to switch in my Raichu because I am Assault Vest and I can take any one hit from this guy, and Raichu doesn't mind too much about being burned either. So now I'm in a fairly decent position. He does switch out into his Umbreon as I just go for a Volt Switch. I still want to find out if that Garchomp Scarfed or not, because he might have just stayed him just going for an Earthquake thinking he'd outspeed my Jirachi. Not thinking I could be Scarfed, but I just went for it anyway. Volt Switch out into my Hitmonlee, and he switches out into a Slowbro. Predict the switch and go for a knockoff. Knock off this Slowbro's leftovers, which is awesome. Only doing 40% to that thing though, so another knockoff will not kill him. So I'm going to switch out, fearing a Scald Burn. I'm going to go back into my Raichu as he doubles out and goes out into his Arcanine. That's fine by me, because although this Arcanine can do a lot of damage to me, I can potentially Volt Switch on it as well. Now he's going to go out into his Raikou, and I actually go for a Nuzzle here, either expecting the Arcanine to stay in, or for him to go out into something like his Umbreon and maybe get a Parent. That would be nice. Now I'm going to Volt Switch out, and I see this does 16%, and I saw the leftovers, and I'm thinking, okay, he's sub-Calm Mind. So I'm going to go into my Tangrowth, as he does go for the Calm Mind. I'm like, okay, that's kind of spooky. I'm not sure how much an HP Ice will be doing at this point, but I wanted to scout about it. Now he is going to go for the Substitute, but I'm not having any of it. That's specifically why I packed the Earthquake on this Tangrowth, and I am able to break his sub. Now he's going to go for the Aura Sphere. It does do over half because I'm not specially defensive at all, and I'm going to go for another Earthquake. Does 64%, just takes him down to 8%. He gets back up to 14 with his lefties. Now I'm just going to go for another Earthquake. I'm going to have to sack up the Tangrowth here. I considered making some switches around, but I didn't want to mess around with a +1/+1 Raikou. He's going to get back up to 20%, so I'm going to go into my Hitmonlee, and I'm just going to go for the Scarf knockoff and knock out this Raikou, which is great. Now he knows I'm Scarfed, so he can go out into his Arcanine. Already knocked off his item, so this knockoff is going to be doing absolutely nothing, and he gets an Intimidate. So fearing the Willow, I'm going to go back out into Salamence, of course, because he's already burned. as he does go for the Willow, which is fantastic. And no, I am just going to go for an Earthquake. No, I'm going to go for a Toxic, I think. As he goes for an Extreme Speed, does basically nothing because he's intimidated. And I do get a Toxic off on this Arcanine. I was either expecting him to switch into the Slowbro, expecting the Toxic, or I'm just staying with the Arcanine. And I'm glad he stayed in. If he went into Umbreon, I'd be fine with that as well, because he can't synchronize the Toxic onto me because I'm already burned. I'm going to go for Roos as he goes for Morning Sun, both get an HP back. I'm going to win this 1v1. And now I decided I'm going to go for an Earthquake, hoping he would just kind of stay in. But, you know, he's not that bad, and he switches out into a Slowbro. I'm doing 10% with this Earthquake because I am burned, but hey ho. And now I'm down to 66%, fearing the Ice Beam. I'm going to switch out and I'm going to go back into my Raichu again, as he's just going to go for the Scald. And he doesn't get a Scald Burn, which is nice. Only doing 28% though, which is pretty decent. Now I'm in a position again where I can just Volt Switch around. And I think I drop a T-Bolt actually on this one. Yes, I do. Drop a Thunderbolt, get a Power on the Umbreon. Obviously can't synchronize the Power back. But this doesn't really matter at this point. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to Volt Switch out and go into something that can punish this Umbreon a little bit. Which is basically the only thing on my team that can do that, which is Hitmonlee. As he's going to go for the Heal Bell, so he's going to get rid of both the Toxics on Arcanine and Slowbro, and the Power on the Umbreon. No bueno for me. I really needed those Toxics, and Salamence is pretty worn down at this point, so not looking too good for me. Now I'm going to switch out into Mega Pidgeot, expecting to switch out into Slowbro. But he actually switches out into his Arcanine, which is another fairly solid switch into this Hitmonlee. Now I'm just going to Mega Up, and I don't really care about being burned or anything like that. I've seen Willow, I've seen Morning Sun, so I'm just going to go for a Hurricane. And he goes for E-Speed, gets off a bit of chip damage, which is fine. Another Hurricane's going to kill him, and he does switch out into the Umbreon. Get off another Hurricane here, does 34%, so I can see he's mostly specially defensive on this Umbreon. He gets back up to 38, so I know I can't kill him with another one. Just going to U-turn out. And I'm going to head out into my Jirachi here, thinking I can maybe punch this guy. I was expecting Wish Protect, but I was really, really hoping that he didn't have it. I was really hoping he didn't have the Protect. As I'm just going to go for the U-turn here, as he does Protect. Unfortunately, that U-turn would have killed him if he didn't have Protect, but unfortunately, he does. And I'm going to, now I'm going to click U-turn again. Obviously, I'm scarfed into it, as he switches out into his Arcanine, which is fine by me, because I just U-turn out, already got rid of his Rocky Helmet, so not taking any recoil off that. And I'm just going to go right back out into my Mega Pidgeot. It's another free switch in, and I just click Hurricane again. It's going to get another Extreme Speed off, take me down to 47%, but I don't really mind too much. This Mega Pidgeot is not here to take hits. Mega Pidgeot gets a kill, which is great. Now he's going to bring in his Mega Beedrill, and I know he's going for Protect, and I could have made a play around it, gone into my Salamence to get an Intimidate off, or gone out into my Jirachi, you know, to outspeed it with the Scarf, but I just click Hurricane, for whatever reason, just in case he was bad and didn't have Protect. Now I'm going to go out into my Salamence, get the Intimidate off. This is my dedicated switch into this. Poison Jab, only doing 28%, but with the burn damage, I'm now on 25, and I'm in range from another Poison Jab, which really, really blows. I probably could have made a switch out into Jirachi there, but I figured it was too much of a win con to risk it. So now I'm going to go out into Jirachi, and he outspeeds me. He outspeeds my Scarf Jirachi, and I was very, very confused at that point, as I'm just going to go for an Iron Head trying to knock out this Mega Beedrill. And it turns out that that Mega Beedrill was Max Speed Jolly Mega Beedrill, and I did not see that one coming at all. I didn't really see a reason for him to bring Max Speed Jolly on his Mega Beedrill whatsoever, so I was expecting my Scarf Jirachi to be able to outspeed, and I realised at this point, I kind of just lose to Mega Beedrill, because it outspeeds my Scarf Jirachi and kills it with a Drill Run, outspeeds my Raichu, kills that with anything, outspeeds my Hitmonlee, kills that with anything, and outspeeds my Mega Pidgeot and kills that with anything. So at this point I realise now, because of my mistake of not putting enough speed on this Jirachi to outspeed a max speed Mega Beedrill, I now lose because of that. Mega Beedrill just straight up wins. So at this point I just kind of played on tilt, which is no bueno. You should never really be playing on tilt. But I switch out my Jirachi here, and I'm going to go out into my Raichu, again expecting some kind of move, Scald, Ice Beam, whatever. I take it just fine. He does get the burn though, and now I'm just going to fire up for Thunderbolt, even though I know that most likely the Garchomp switch is going to be coming, and does go out into the Garchomp. I was thinking if he's not Scarfed, I can still fire off an HP Ice against him. Turns out though, the Garchomp is in fact Scarfed, as he's going to outspeed me, knock me out with the Earthquake. Now I know this is a free switch into Mega Pidgeot, because he's locked into Earthquake, that's fine by me. So I'm just going to click Hurricane again. But the Umbreon is too healthy, and it can take 2 Hurricanes no problem. It's going to do 33% with that one. Was kind of hoping for a confusion, honestly, because it's basically the only chance I've got at this point. I'm just going to stay in and continually click Hurricane, as he's going to go for a payback, which is fine by me. I only need 32% to this Mega Pidgeot. Now, it's a roll whether I kill him with another Hurricane here, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to switch straight onto my Hitmonlee. I don't know why I didn't U-turn there, but hey-ho, is what it is. Hitmonlee's coming in again, and I know the Slowbro switch is coming, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to click Close Combat and hope that he overpredicts and stays in with his Umbreon. He doesn't. It switches out into a Slowbro, and now I have nothing for this. I'm just going to click close combat again, because again, like I said, at this point, I was just playing on tilt. I was like, I know I've lost this. There's not much I can do. He's going to go for the Skull, do a big amount of damage, but not get the burn, which is great. I'm going to switch out into my Jirachi, hoping to, not get burned off him, to slack off or something. He does slack off, get back to a good amount of HP, and now I'm just going to U-turn again, because I have nothing to do against this thing. Get 27% off. Going to switch out to my Mega Pidgeot, hoping he doesn't kill me, and I can get some damage off at him. But he does go for a T-Wave, and now he's going to be able to outspeed my Mega Pidgeot the following turn, knock it out with a Scald. No bueno for me once again. I just got Jirachi and Hitmonlee left. All I got to hit the Slowbro on this Jirachi is this U-turn. It's not doing enough damage, and I'm going to switch out to Hitmonlee on the U-turn, and he's just going to go for a Scald, knock out my Hitmonlee. All I got left is Jirachi. I basically just need a crit U-turn at this point to be able to knock him out. So I'm just going to go for the U-turn, and I do get the crit, but it doesn't kill him. Takes him down to 6%, as he is going to go for the slack off. Just trying to scout, see how much damage I do, I guess. And just going to continually keep going for U-turns. Do 28% with this one, leaving him on 28%. Doesn't get a Scald burn, so I'm thinking maybe I can knock him out with this one, but I get a low roll and get 25% off it, so that is no bueno. Going to go for another Scald, and now I'm expecting him to switch out, and he goes out into his Garchomp. As obviously I'm locked into U-turn, so I can't really do anything about it. This Garchomp isn't rough skin, which is nice, but he's going to be able to outspeed my Scarf Jirachi, knock it out with the Earthquake, and we take a 4-0 loss in Week 1 of the CBL. So that did not go well, really. That was no bueno for me. As soon as I realized that Mega Beedrill outsped my whole team, I knew I just lost it at that point. Like I did a test match beforehand, and both Scarf Hitmonlee and Scarf Jirachi outsped Mega Beedrill, one that was like speed cracked properly, if it was like an adamant one, with enough speed to outspeed everything on my team. Then the Scarfers would have outsped, but I did not see a max speed Jolly Mega Beedrill coming, because there was basically no reason for that. So, it paid off for him in the end, which is a bit annoying, but what can you do? And yeah, I was just a bit annoyed, really, because if I look at the team that I could have brought, I look at things like Jellicent, which would have switched into Slowbro no problem, because it only had Scald, Ice Beam, Slack Off, and Thunder Wave. Could have switched into that no problem, hit it up with some strong Ghost Stab. Could have brought basically any form of setup against the Umbreon, because the Umbreon was complete setup fodder, because it had Wish Protect, Heal Bell, and Payback. I could have completely set up on that thing with things like Reuniclus, or even a DD Salamence, or a DD Tita, or anything, really. I could have brought anything to set up on the Umbreon with. I just didn't see Umbreon coming for that specific reason, because I have so much scary setup on my team. I did not see Umbreon coming, and I just put close combat on Hitmonlee. One, because it's good stab to have, and two, because I just wanted something to hit the Umbreon just because in case it came, because it's pretty scary that way. But only having close combat on Hitmonlee to be able to even 2-hit KO Umbreon is just not good enough, because he has very solid switch-ins and a physically defensive Arcanine and a physically defensive Slowbro. So I basically had nothing for the mons he brought. I just didn't expect those mons to come at all. I prepped for completely the wrong things. I expected him to not bring Umbreon, because I didn't think he would risk... When I have so much scary setup on my team, I didn't think he would risk Umbreon in that way, just bringing, basically a setup fodder Umbreon right there. And, Scarf Chomp being locked into Ground Move, I didn't think he'd want that, because it gives Mega Pidgeot a free switch in, and Mega Pidgeot kind of hurts his team, aside from, especially defensive Umbreon and Raikou. That's literally it. 2-hit KOs everything else. So, didn't think he'd want to give me a free switch into Mega Pidgeot, but, is what it is. But that's it. We take a 4-0 loss in Week 1 of the CBL. We got 2 more games to turn this around, and next week we're playing Ozzy, and I don't know his team name right now, but we'll be playing him next week, and we'll see if we can turn things around. We need to be finishing in top 2 of this group. We're playing everyone in the group, by the way. If you're not sure of how the CBL works, you play everyone in your group. There's 4 teams in my division, and we're playing all 3 of them, and whoever finishes top 2 in the group moves on to the playoffs, into the knockout tournament. So I'm hoping these last 2 games, I basically have to win these last 2 games in order to have a chance of finishing in the top 2, really, to move on to playoffs. So let's hope I can do that, basically. But we'll be coming back next week with the next CBL match and team builder. So thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this match, make sure to leave a like on the video, and look forward to Week 2 of the CBL coming up very, very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Toodaloo.